It's just been incredible. I feel such a sense of coming home. If we have a lunch that lasts under 2 hours, I'm like, wow, that was fast. An hour and a half. Oh my goodness, how did we do that so quickly?
On this week's episode, it's another edition of My Home in Portugal, where I speak to normal people who have discovered Portugal, fallen in love with Portugal, and bought a home in Portugal. I'm here in situ Nazare, where it all began for our next guests, Rick, Emily, and their French bulldog, Eddie. Rick and Emily are originally from the US, but discovered this beautiful area of the Silver Coast in Portugal. They've been living here for the last 2 years and bought a home not far from here. And you're going to hear two distinct sounds in this episode. Bit of an echo because we record this episode from Rick and Emily's apartment in situ, and the occasional snore, grunt, and growl from Eddie the French bulldog. For those of you listening, head over to our YouTube channel to watch some of this episode, and for those of you watching, click down below and subscribe. And for the full podcast episode, go to Google, Stitcher, Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your podcasts. And now over to my conversation with Rick, Emily, and Eddie. Welcome back, or welcome to another episode of Portugal the Simple Life, and it's another edition of My Home in Portugal. I'm joined with Emily and Rick. Guys, thanks for being on the podcast.
Our privilege.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So tell us where we are right now.
We are in our condo in Nazare, built by Portugal Realty, that we like very much. On the Silver Coast, Nazare.
Amazing. We're going to talk about the whole story, how this all happened, because as you know, these episodes are about normal people like yourselves who have found Portugal, fallen in love with Portugal, and bought a home here. So let's take it back to the beginning. Why Portugal? How did this area get on your radar?
Tell us about that. I'll let Emily go with that because
Emily was the planner. She was the planner.
I'm a big idea guy.
Well, it's a long story, but Portugal came about because during the pandemic, like everybody, we reevaluated what was important to us, where we were presently living, and where might be a place that better aligns with our ideals. Okay, so you've now found out, it seems like the right fit for us on paper. Logistically and legally and all of these things, we can do it, it's possible. What's the next step? Is looking for the location. Let's go visit.
So we pinpointed it. So then it was like, well, let's go see it for ourselves. And so we planned a trip. We picked the places that we thought we would be most interested in, and that was places between Lisbon and Porto along the Silver Coast. Including Lisbon and Porto. And we decided on attempting to live in Ericeira. And because it was close to Lisbon, which would have been close to closer than where we are now to the hospitals, but it had a great active lifestyle and beautiful coastal. And Emily's originally from Florida, so she was really looking to be close to the water again. She's got Atlantic Ocean water in her blood. So that all fit everything, but we just had a really difficult time getting accepted for a property. So from there
And this was for to rent?
To rent. Yes, not to buy, just to rent. And I think us not actually being in Portugal and having, at the time, 2 dogs, it made us not the most favorable candidate. They had plenty of people to choose from, and so then we had to broaden our search and look again. And obviously we'd already been knew about Portugal Realty, and we found one of your places in San Martinho de Porto and reached out to you, and we had a place. So it worked out.
We moved in mid-June, and there's a festival that takes place in mid-June for an entire week. So we really felt like there was this celebration party for us when we arrived.
Maybe.
And there were concerts every night. We're like, this is so
good. It's a sardine time. It's Sant Antonio.
Exactly.
It's the time of Sant Antonio.
And we joked, is this going to last all summer?
Is this what summer's like?
Great.
So there was a certain aspect of, you know, enchantment just because it felt so different and almost like a vacation, if you will. And we eventually had to calm down and say, okay, we're not on vacation anymore, so just, you know, eat well and stop drinking. So, you know, stop having so much fun.
Much good wine.
Yeah.
So much good wine.
But I would say the kind of immediate roots that started growing, and I don't want to speak for Rick, but for me was just instant decompression. It's just a different pace. And people aren't interested in that pace. It's not even a part of their daily ethos to move fast and to favor speed over connection. And it was just so easy to fall into that rhythm and begin to savor things a little bit differently. And that was so compelling to me. Just felt so at peace.
But in terms of the steps with the property, so we've got up here, you've looked at the location, let's go for it. It was the last unit as well, if I remember correctly, so timing was amazing. But it was still in construction. So you still had to wait for it to be finished, choose your finishes. Just take us through sort of that whole process in terms of you know, the steps you went through to finally moving in and starting to use it as a home.
It was such a great experience. Actually, we're both in the architecture and design industry by profession, and so it was lovely actually to have the tables turn and to be the client and go through the whole construction experience and get to walk the property and learn how things are constructed. And anytime we wanted to see the property, you took us to see the property. And it was funny though, we felt a little strangely hands-off just because we know the process so well. We were like, okay, cool, you know, we just let it go on autopilot a little bit, which was lovely. And I mean, we still had our lease to get through. We had no intention of breaking it, so the timing really aligned for us. And then our project manager, Tanya, was so incredible. We went and picked out our finishes, and you know, the process was just so seamless. And when we wanted we had a special request, you know, that was able to be accommodated.
Like we said, food is a very serious thing, but just talk about that experience for you eating and drinking here. How's it different from what you're used to, and what surprised you?
Here we see fishermen who are catching their own fish in the sea. There in San Martino, there were boats coming in, and also fishermen. So it's just on the agricultural side, you know, from farm to table, it's ocean to table here, and that makes it the freshest seafood. And then the farms are also right here. So all of our produce that we're getting at the mercado or at the restaurants is just nearby. So the carbon footprint of what we're eating is so much smaller.
And freshness.
And then everything's just amazing. So fresh that sometimes we can't eat all the fruit that we buy fast enough because it's able to ripen on the tree or on the vine, and then you're buying it, so it's ready to eat when you buy it, instead of going, oh, is this apple going to be good next week?
You can't buy in bulk like what I know you do in the States. It's got to be, okay, we're buying for the week, because otherwise it's not going to be fresh anymore. I come from a place where they're trying to turn tables. And then everywhere else I go in the world, they're trying to turn tables. Like, I remember going for a meal in Belgium, and it was a really nice restaurant and great. And then they're like, you need to arrive there at this time, but be ready to leave. And you're like, it's just insane. I've never felt that in Portugal. Where they're happy for you to stay the whole night if you want to.
Oh yes. The
And
table's yours.
It's a breath of fresh air to just not feel rushed into things, because we have enough things that we feel rushed to do. So to be able to sit down and just spend the time and you have to ask for everything, right? They leave you're left alone. You know, it's your table. We'll come to you when you request, if you need something.
But I think we've really embraced that. I do occasionally hear that is one of the greatest shocks, particularly for Americans, is that there's nothing that can be done to rush it, and if you try, you'll only make it worse, and it's a fact. But for us, we love it, and I get kind of a kick out of when I can hear an American accent nearby, and they're in and out quicker than we were sitting before they arrived, and they've left, and we've probably still got 30 or 45 minutes that we plan to be there. If we have a lunch that lasts under 2 hours, I'm like, wow, that was fast. An hour and a half. Oh my goodness, how did we do that so quickly? Because we sort of have completely leaned into it. I mean,
how's that experience been for you? I know you mentioned walking in the pine forest and everything, but that connection to nature, clean air, the raw ocean, beaches where there's no construction for miles. I mean, how's that experience been for you guys?
It's just been incredible. I feel such a sense of coming home. What I love so much about the Portuguese culture, but particularly Nazare, is that all eyes point to the ocean. There's such a reverence for it and almost a worship of it that really resonates with me, and I just get so much from sort of standing on the edge of the earth, if you will, and looking out into the vastness of the ocean, and you can just feel that in the way that people are. Everyone has their forward facing towards the water, and it's just really, really special for me personally, and the beaches are just so beautiful, and the preservation of them and the care for them is really unbelievable. I often look at these just stunning dunes and think, was this what Miami used to look like? Is this, because I never got to see that. There are a couple places that everyone likes to refer to as wild Florida, or the wild beaches, but it's nothing compared to the care and of the coastline here is really special. There's just such a love that love is more important than the money that would come from developing it. It says so much about the beliefs of the country, and I really appreciate that.
Yeah. Rick, for you, why do you feel at home in Portugal?
I feel at home in Portugal because of the way people welcome us. It's I grew up, my father was in the military, so I moved a lot, and I know what it's like to move places, but moving here and the generosity was given to us, and I hope that holds true for lots of people that come here. But what we were afforded was beyond anything that I would have expected. It's just the people are wonderful, and that's what really surprised me, is how great they are. So
I sort of would echo that and add that there's such a humanity to the way the culture is here in Portugal, and the social qualities that people really hold dear are all around seeing the humanity in another person, and I feel seen, and I feel and not that I was looking for that, but I feel like a human being in my own skin who can be who she is. And I think this kind of live and let live mentality is really so special. And it's not something that's on the nose. You just sort of have to be here, and you sort of realize, like, I am who I am in this place, and so I feel more in my own skin than I ever have, and it truly is wonderful. And I think that's it.
And for you, Eddie?
Well, anywhere there's food, he's happy.
Guys, thank you so much for being on the podcast. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I'm going to let you call it.
All right.
Obrigada.
Dylan.
That's a wrap.
That's a wrap.
So thank you once again to our guest, and thank you to all of you for listening. Please subscribe, share with your friends, give us a thumbs up, and please leave a comment or a review. We always love to hear from you. Don't forget, Portugal The Simple Life also has a magazine, so download it. It's for free. We'll be back next week with a brand new episode, and as we say in Portugal, sejas bem-vindo. Welcome to The Simple Life.